Resistance Chicks coming at you March 13th, 2017. Many of you have told us we need to speak slower. I don't speak slow. I can't do that. I'm sorry. Okay, but CNN, I'm going to try it. CNN is having some major issues with their technical...
Their budget must be low.
Yeah.
Because every time a conservative gets on, somehow it buzzes out.
Yeah, they're having these malfunctions and they're just losing their minds. Well, I just don't know how that's happening. So we want to give you... Trump spoke to some people about the failure of Obamacare and how it failed them.
Exactly, and why the need to repeal Obamacare. And he was having a listening session. I love these listening sessions.
It's great.
But CNN was streaming it, and I was just watching.
We'll just let it, yep.
The fact is, Obamacare is a disaster. And I say this to the Republicans all the time, by repealing it, by getting rid of it, by ending it, everyone's going to say, oh, it used to be so great. But it wasn't great. And I tell Tom Price, and I tell Paul Ryan, I tell every one of them, I say the best thing you can do politically is wait a year, because it's going to blow itself off the map. But that's the wrong thing to do for the country. It's the wrong thing to do for our citizens. So with that, I'd like to introduce some of the folks, and you could say a few words about your experience with Obamacare, and perhaps the press will even report it. Would you like to start?
Yeah, thank you for this opportunity,
Perhaps.
Mr. President.
Thank you.
Our rates are 3 times they were before Obamacare started. We have one provider in our county. We have very little options for what we can and cannot do. We're a small business owner. We're actually not a brick and mortar. We are cattle ranchers. We can't afford our equipment if we're paying these rates year after year after year. Our food source is in jeopardy because of this healthcare law. It's my basic.
I know.
Oh. Oh, what? Oh.
Just lost the tape there from the White House. The president had a listening session at
Lost that.
in the White House. So
What
victims of Obamacare, as he put it, people telling their stories, their difficulties with Obamacare.
Just, yeah. So they're just having a couple, and we showed you guys the other day how they lost a little bit of feed and...
Jeopardy because of this healthcare law.
Oh.
It's my
Wait
basic.
for it.
I know.
There's going to be another person coming up, and
Just lost the tape there from the White House. The president had a listening session at
now hang on,
the White
pause
House.
that. Because I don't know if you guys noticed, there are people that study, and I'm not saying that I'm one of those people, but there are people that study mannerisms and know when people are lying. And I got to tell you, I'm calling this boy a liar. Because as soon as this thing comes to, he is ready with his, you can just see it coming, his mannerisms. It was like an acting class. Like he was so ready, like, I was thinking about how I'm going to spin this, that we lost the feed. We're gonna cut, this looks really bad, we're gonna cut now! I think that CNN has come up with some sort of code word, cut, where they're telling we're gonna cut this and you gotta be ready for it and how you're gonna spin it. Oh my gosh, that was so crazy.
You know what? That actually is probably going to be really interesting. It's like a 30-minute listening session, and I would be interested to cover that. So we might, if we have some time,
Okay.
I'd like to just sit here and listen to it all because it's so devastating, you guys. I have a friend of mine who is a business person who is self-employed, and they actually can't afford to buy a house right now. They've got two sons, and their insurance went from $400 a month for a family of 4 to $1,200 a month for a family of 4. So, could you imagine just your insurance being $1,200? Some people only make $1,200 a month.
I know.
And when you're in certain businesses, sometimes you have high times and low times.
Right.
And you may not make, and a lot of times you have to put it back into your business. You got to put it into clothes for certain businesses.
Sure, absolutely.
And so, Obamacare is not the success. It's helpful for people who are really sick but have a decent income. And they couldn't get insurance.
We also have another friend of ours who just recently went and got their taxes done, a young person, been working all year long. And
just basic little jobs.
Exactly. So he goes to get his taxes done. And then come to find out, the guy was like, well, did you have health insurance last year? And he was like, well, no. And he's like, well, that's gonna cost you. That's gonna cost you $600 and whatever amount of dollars. And our friend was like, what? And he's
he
like,
didn't know, honestly.
and he said, but the guy grilled him. He said, well, you knew, this is his tax preparer. You knew about this. You had all year long. You should have done something. You should have known that you should. And I'm thinking to myself, are you
He was
serious?
a college professor who did free taxes.
I mean, this is absolutely
I
ridiculous.
have another friend of mine who is a dental hygienist. It's a reasonable paying job.
Sure.
She's got 3 kids. Very liberal person. Super liberal. Wanted to vote for Bernie Sanders. But she showed us a clip or something of her insurance rates, and she says, I can't afford it. I can't afford insurance. I got another friend of mine, just 2 parents, they work. They barely scrape by. They have basic things. They have a regular house, nothing big, nothing fancy, 1 daughter. Their insurance skyrocket.
Right.
The regular people, these middle class people who things are really expensive for, taxes are really expensive for. They're not bringing home a lot. They might go out to eat a little bit, but they're not super spenders.
We know other people who don't quite make enough money, meaning they would qualify for Obamacare, and they choose not to get Obamacare because of their political beliefs. They just think, I don't want to take from the government. And so now they have to pay the $600. Now, Trump has rolled out, and this is really cool. If you don't answer the question, we've been meaning to tell you guys about that. If you still haven't done your taxes, just don't answer the question of whether you have health insurance or not, and they're not going to kick back your taxes. But anyway, you would have to pay if you answer the question, no, I didn't have insurance, even though you qualified financially to get Obamacare, just because you didn't take the free government handout, now you have to pay the $600. Ridiculous. So there's a lot of people that Obamacare is negatively affecting, and it just needs to be wiped off the face of the earth.
Right.
All right, you guys, this is Leah Michelle signing off for Resistance Chicks, where it's not a conspiracy theory if they're cutting off your feed.
Ho, ho.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Mass Faith 3 and Resistance Chicks. Ring the bell for notifications so you get an email every time we put out a new video, and find us on Facebook and Twitter. We love you guys. God bless.
God bless. God bless the USA.
I was cold all alone, no place for home every day, so afraid, but you called my name.